Hey guys, it's me, Snarky Hippie. Hello. Wow, it's been a long time. There is so much that has happened. I keep promising people videos, and I am finally now getting around to doing one. I am not at home. I'm in rehab, physical therapy rehab, and well, I guess I'll just start at the beginning. This is probably the most fucked up thing you're going to hear. And you really, you can't make this shit up, you guys. It has been a hell of a ride for the last couple weeks. So, it will be actually 3 weeks ago, this coming Wednesday, I was in a car accident. I had Sammy with me. Fortunately, she walked away with just a mild concussion. Unfortunately, I did not. I didn't have the same luck. My femur, my right leg, was broken in three places. I was rushed to the hospital. They performed surgery with a plate and screws and bolts and whatever. Yeah, basically had to put my leg back together again. So surgery was Thursday. I was at the hospital up through the following Monday. I absolutely had to go to physical rehab afterwards because I had no use in my right leg. I was not able to put any weight on it, and I had to at least be able to get from my bed to a wheelchair to the bathroom before I'd be able to go home. So I went to rehab. The hospital social worker, who I just immediately got really bad vibes from. Her name is Debbie, and I'm going to try to keep this family friendly, but there may be strong language in adult situations. Debbie is the embodiment of the C word, okay? This woman walks around with her head up her fucking ass, has no idea what she's doing. So, and I have my home health care team that was working on this as well. Well, anyway, so Debbie finds a rehab for me. So she comes in there and she says, "Okay, you're going to go to the Grove in Lagrange Park." Like, okay, fine, whatever. Not even discussing this with my home health care team. So Monday they come and pick me up to take me to the Grove, and I get there. It's about 4:30, and they're unloading me in the parking lot. They're pulling the stretcher because I'm on a stretcher. I'm on a gurney in an ambulance. Sorry. Oh, so anyway, so they unload me, and as they're pulling me out of the back, and I'm like strapped to this thing, and I feel myself starting to tilt to the left. And before I know it, I am laying on the ground on my side on the cement, still strapped to this fucking gurney. So basically, they dropped me out of the back of the ambulance. So I'm laying there, I'm thinking, oh, great, what the fuck else could possibly happen? So they call for another ambulance to take me. Now I have to go back to a different hospital, closer by one, to make sure there are no further injuries. So they bring me to the Grange Hospital, and they check me over there, and I get back to the Grove at about 10:30 that night. So I get there, and when they get me in my room, and one of the first people I meet there is one of the nurse technicians, one of the CNAs, and she's got the whole angry black woman vibe going. It's like, oh my god. So so they introduced me to her, and I'm like, hey Mary, how you doing? Nice to meet you. And she just kind of gives me this glare. I'm like, okay, not going to be a good night. So they get me in bed, and remember now, I am pretty much helpless here. Okay, I cannot roll over by myself. I can't do anything, but lay there. Okay, my leg is like screaming. It is so painful. They've got me on like all these drugs, and they're not doing anything. So I ask her for a pillow to put under my leg, right? And she says, oh, we don't have any. They're all in the laundry. Okay, you're telling me every pillow in the fucking facility is in the laundry. All right, give me a fucking blanket to put a something, right? I don't. Of course, she doesn't. She leaves the room, and every once in a while she comes back in, and now she's got her hoodie pulled up like over her head with the strings tied, so there's like this much of her face showing, and she just like comes in and glares, and then goes back out again. That's every once in a while. Meantime, my roommate, okay, is still up. She's in a wheelchair. She's an amputee. I had her right foot amputated. So she's rolling around the room, and this is a very small room, especially too small for two people. So she's rolling around in the room, and she's talking to her dog, who apparently lives under my bed, who I can't see. I'm like, oh great, my roommate's batshit crazy. Add this to the list. And when I first saw him, she looked around my age, wearing a tie dye. I'm like, okay, well, how bad can this be, right? Well, apparently bad. So, and then she like rolls over back to her side of the room and having a very animated conversation with nobody at all. I'm like, oh, what is this fresh hell? So I don't sleep all night. My roommate finally goes to sleep. So in the morning, she wakes up and introduces herself and didn't even remember me coming in last night. Turns out that she has this thing where when she's dreaming, she dreams out loud and she talks out loud. So she really wasn't crazy at all. She was just like, she's dreaming about her dog. So she saw her dog under my bed. So actually, her name was Stacy, and actually, she turned out to be really cool. Very, very kind, and really helped me get through the couple days that I spent in this house of horrors. So anyway, meanwhile, back at the ranch, there's this nurse there. Her name is Monday, and she was a little twat. I kept having to ask for my pain meds because they weren't giving them to me. I cannot lay flat on my back because my back spasms. So I have to be in an upright position, like even when I sleep. And at home, I sleep in a recliner. Well, I kept asking them to move the bed up to an upright position. And this is the most horrible bed. I think it was like a medieval torture device. And they couldn't get it up high enough, and I kept sliding back down, and they wouldn't bring me back up again. And I ended up laying like almost flat and basically in a whole lot of physical pain, and they wouldn't do anything about it. They would like leave me there for a half hour. And I'm laying there thinking, I've read about these fucking places. I can't believe this is happening. So I called my social worker from my home healthcare agency, Megan, and she comes over like, you got to get me the fuck out of here. It's like, this is not going to work. This place is horrible. So she's observing like the stuff that's going on. She's like copious notes, It's like, Megan, just get me the fuck out of here. So she was there to witness this is the worst thing they did. So I'm begging him. It's like, you guys, please just at least let me sit up somehow. Can you, because I've been laying flat now for like almost a week. And I'm like, I need to sit up. Plus, now I have pneumonia. I have all this crap in my lungs, and I can't cough any of it out because I'm not in an upright position. So they go get this thing called the Hoyer lift. And the object is to get me up out of the bed into a wheelchair. Okay. So they come and they got me all strapped in, right? And they start lifting me up in this thing. And I'm like dangling in midair. Okay. They're trying to like jockey me to get me in the chair. And all of a sudden, and there's like 5 people doing this. Okay. Each one is more fucking stupid than the next one. And clearly none of them know what they are doing. So they're going to get me in the chair. And somehow they moved me. And I felt this like ripping, stabbing, jabbing pain in my knee. It is the worst pain I have ever felt in my life. And I literally screamed out loud. I mean, literally, it hurt so fucking bad. And I just started crying. And I think I probably at that point, that's when I started crying to the point where I didn't stop until I was actually out of it. I cried the whole time there. And I'm just like, I'm in freaking agony. And they're like, well, what do we do? What do we do? And the activities director, who was this idiot named Mike, was like a human cartoon character. Okay, he walked in, it was like the day before 4th of July. So he walks in, he's got this big fucking idiot bow tie that's got like red and white stripes on the other, and then, the stars on the other. And this thing is like enormous. And it looks like it's going to fly away with him on it any minute. And I really wish it had. This guy was just fucking annoying. And he's like, well, we can't leave her in all this pain. And I'm just hanging there like, just get me down, get me down, get me down. So they finally get me back in bed. And they, of course, again, leave me in a laying flat position, right? And Megan is still there. I'm like, Megan, you please do something. And she's like, all right, I'm going to take care of this. You hang tight. I'm going to make some calls. I'll call you later. Okay, this is now the Tuesday, but right before the 4th. So they finally get me semi-propped up on the bed. But again, I am incredibly uncomfortable and a considerable amount of pain, and still crying. And 5:30 comes and goes, and I don't hear from Megan. Oh, fuck. Nobody else is answering my calls. I am trying to call everybody I can think of. Okay, nobody is answering. Right. The few people that I did talk to are like, well, just try to stick it out, I mean, just try to, just hang in there. Don't leave so fast. I'm like, are you fucking kidding? You want to trade places with me right now? So, let's see. So Thursday. So now it's Thursday night. Again, I cannot sleep because I am in pain and nobody's doing anything about it. And to this point, you guys, and I have never ever reached this point in my life. Okay, that particular day, I have never felt more, oh God, abandoned and just in so much physical and emotional pain that I was actually laying there in bed trying to figure out how many painkillers I needed to not take and save up so I could just take them all at once and just have it be over. That seriously is how bad it was. And oh my God. So the night shift nurse comes in, and there's so by now I'm pleading, and I'm like, please, can you just help me get up and sit on the side of the bed for a while? Right? I just need to sit up for a while. And she says to me, like I'm a fucking 8-year-old child, it's nighttime, it's bedtime. We go to sleep. We don't sit up at nighttime. We're in bed. So you'll have to wait until morning. There's only 2 of us. And she walks out of the room. I'm like, you know what? Oh, fuck. It's just like, fuck. And I called her the C word as she was walking out the door and flipped her off. Because I'd had it. I mean, that's it. That's when I reached my absolute breaking point. It's like, no. So the next morning I woke up. It's 4th of July. Once again, start making phone calls. Nobody answers. Anybody who answers is like, well, just wait until tomorrow. It's like, fuck you. So I finally, I'm like, you know what? I'm leaving. I gotta get out of here. If no one else will help me, I just gotta do this on my own. So I one of the higher ups in the facility came in, and she's all Miss sunshine and sunshine, happy flower, rainbow, And she walks in. She's like, hey, how are you this morning? And I said, I'm leaving. And she said, what do you mean you're leaving? I said, I'm leaving. And she said, why? And I said, I explained to her everything. I said, your staff is have been neglecting my needs. I was re-injured, by their negligence. I said, they can't even get me a comfortable bed, to sleep in. And she said, well, I can get you a bed. It'll take me a day. And she said, no, I'll dress the staff. I'm like, no, it's too little, too late. I'm out of here. And then she turns nasty on me. She said, well, Medicare is paying for you. And if you leave before the 3 days is up, they're going to charge you. They won't pay for it. And I'm like, I don't care. I don't fucking care. And she said, well, this is a bad decision and you should wait and think about it. And I'm like, look, I've had it. I've had it with you people. I've had it with this place. Get me an ambulance. Get me out of here. And she's like, well, you're going to have to pay for the ambulance yourself. I'm like, I don't fucking care. Call me an ambulance. And she said, well, you know what? She said, you're gonna regret this decision. And I looked at her, I'm like, Jesus, you people will do anything you can think of to fuck over your patients, won't you? And she's like, well, we're not fucking over anybody. And she just turns around and walks out. So they go to call an ambulance. Now I got a 2-hour wait. Okay. Wonderful. So, the ambulance is going to be there at noon, about 11:30. She prances back into the room again. Once again, almost, happy, joy. And she said, oh, you're still here? And I said, yeah, waiting for the ambulance. Won't be here till noon. And she said, well, why don't you have something to eat while you wait? I just ordered a lunch for you. Miss, happiness and light again. And I'm just like, no. It's like your food sucks now. So the ambulance came, brought me home, got me set in my recliner. Now, of course, I can't move anywhere by myself. Fortunately, I still had a catheter in me, so that was not an issue. And I'll stay at home tonight, and then tomorrow I'll figure out what I need to do to get in a different rehab. Because I knew I needed to be in a rehab, obviously. Because I'm pretty much helpless. So Lauren came over that night, and she helped me pack some stuff, that I was going to need, when I actually went to a real rehab. And maybe something for dinner. And then the next morning, I got on the phone again with my home health care people, and they arranged for an ambulance, because now what I had to do, because I went what's considered AMA, against medical advice from the rehab, now I had to be readmitted to the hospital to be checked over again and then be re-referred to a different rehab. So so next morning they get an ambulance over there for me. They transfer me over to the Grange Hospital, which is right by me. And I go in there and I got to go in through the ER. So they do a bunch more x-rays. And by now I am really, I'm in really bad shape, you guys. I'm still crying. I just couldn't stop. And so the ER doctor, they sent me in for a CT. Come in. Hey, baby. Hey, come here. I'm on YouTube Live. Come and say hi.
Oh, okay.
Come and say hi. I'm telling them my horror story.
Oh,
Come closer.
okay.
Hey, you guys, special guest.
Hi.
Introduce yourself. Who are you? What do you do here?
I'm Jasmine. I'm her CNA.
She's wonderful. This girl, you guys, my first night here. After what you've even heard so far, you know how wigged out I was. This lovely young lady here made me feel so much better. She came in, she talked to me, she hung out with me for a while, and she's an absolute sweetheart.
All right, let me know if you need anything.
I will. Are you mine tonight?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can I call and ask you though? Okay, because I need to talk to you later. You're not in trouble or anything. I just want to talk to you later.
Okay.
Okay, sweetie. Yeah, all right. Nice to see you back. Welcome back. Okay, you guys, I love this girl. She is such a sweetheart. Anyway, where was I? Oh, okay. So they do a CT scan of my chest, right? And they bring me back, into my waiting room in the ER, and the doctor comes in, and this doctor was awesome. He was awesome, and he comes bouncing in the room, and he's like, "Hey, darling, did you know you got a bunch of broken ribs in there?" No. Define bunch of. Oh, I don't know. I stopped counting at 3. So apparently, when they dropped me out of the back of the ambulance, a bunch of ribs got broken, which would explain like why my chest hurt so bad, and I couldn't hardly even like take a deep breath. So now I'm dealing with this too. So they get me up into a room, and one of the surgeons, comes, orthopedic surgeon, comes and sees me, and he's like, I talked to your doctor at the other hospital, and basically what happened is when they had me in the lift at the nursing home, or is what I like to refer to as the Chamber of Horrors. When they jacked me around, when I felt that ripping pain, basically it was the plate pulling away from the bone in my leg. So now it's completely fucked up. So he says, because the other doctor at the other hospital did the surgery, he said it would be we agree it's best for you to go back there and have the repair done there. And I'm like, fine with me, Because honestly, Mercy Hospital, that place was great. The nurses were wonderful. I had no qualms about going back there again. So they get me back to Mercy. Managed to get me all the way there without dropping me. Thank you. And so my doctor there examines everything, and I'm all ready to go back under the knife again to get this thing fixed. And he does some exams, and he comes in to talk to me, and he says, "Okay, we have 3 options." I'm like, okay, lay them on me, doc. First option, they could go back in and try to repair the damage. However, now there's an infection that has set in, and he said, if we do the surgery with an infection, then there's a chance of making the infection worse, which could involve amputating your leg. I'm like, really don't like that option. What's number 2? So we can let it heal the way it is, and it'll take 3 to 6 months. You'll be in a wheelchair for 3 to 6 months, and then we'll know more where to go after that. Okay, and third option, said we could fuse it, which means they would put a rod or something in there, which would keep my leg in just one position, and I'd be able to use it right away. However, once it's fused, it cannot be undone. It's done, and my leg would always be stiff. I would not be able to bend my knee ever again. It would just be in one position for the rest of my life. So I'm like, you know what? I'm thinking option number 2. So the plan is we're going to just let it heal, see what happens after that, and kind of go from there. So I spent a couple more days at Mercy, which I was not unhappy about because, again, those nurses there, those ladies there, are just fucking incredible. I love them all. So from Mercy, so I had made it very clear when I went back to Mercy. I was like, look, you guys, keep that fucking idiot Debbie away from me, the social worker who sent me to hell in the first place. I said, keep her away from me. I do not want her involved in my case. I do not want to deal with her. I don't want to see her. I don't want to hear her fucking name. Keep her out of my room. And they were like, don't worry. Well, they told her not to, go in my room, right? Of course, she shows up anyway. She comes walking in there, and I'm on the phone with Lauren. And this bitch comes walking in, and I just put my hand up. I'm like, nope, you need to leave. Go. And she's like, just let me tell you. I'm like, no, I don't want to hear anything you have to say. Fucking get out of my room. I made it clear I do not want you involved in my case. And she's like, please just let me do my job. I'm like, oh, what? And she's like, I didn't know what that place was like when I sent you there. And then here's the kicker, okay? She says, I called them and they told me they were a good facility. Of course, they fucking told you they were a good facility. What are they going to say? Hi, we fucking suck. Please send your patient here so we can really fuck her up good. And I said, you know what, Debbie? Those people caused me permanent damage. My leg is fucked up for good. I'm never going to be able to use it again normally for the rest of my life. They've done permanent damage. And she's like, I'm sorry. I didn't know. Like, you know what? If you had taken 5 minutes to go online and check these people out, you would have seen that they've had 2 fines against them in the last 4 years for infractions. They have a 2-star rating and a bunch of really horrible things that people have said about them. Had you just taken the time to read that, you would have known. So she's like, please just let me do my job. And I'm like, you know what, just whatever, just please leave. So she leaves, and she comes in the next day, and she's like, okay, I found some places. And she's like, and this one sounds good, and this one sounds good. I said, give me the list. I'm going to check them out first. It's like, you give me anything you find, I'm going to do the research. So she gave me a list, and I found a couple places that sounded good, that all had considerably higher than 2-star ratings. So I found this one place here in LaGrange. It's called Meadowbrook Manor. So I told her, I said, okay, it sounds like the one. So she set it up, and I came here on, oh my gosh, Thursday. And you know what? They brought me in here, and you guys, it's like the fucking Hilton. It is so nice. It is so beautiful. Just newly remodeled, newly built building. They just recently moved over from their old building, which has a really cool history. It used to be an orphanage back in like the early 1900s. And it's haunted. One of the women here, the activities director, was actually in here earlier talking to me, and she's had a whole bunch of experiences that of this little kid ghosts over there, and people have seen them and interacted with them, and unfortunately they don't ever cross over to the new part that I'm in, because that would be so cool. But and it's just got a really cool history. The staff here is extremely nice. Extremely, like my first day here. Okay, it said like in the brochure that I have a private room, and each room has a little personal refrigerator in it. Well, I didn't have one, so I asked, it's like, is there any way I could get a fridge in my room? And they're like, yeah, we'll get it taken care of. So they get a fridge. Within an hour, I had a fridge. And the director even stocked it with my favorite soda. I mean, come on. How cool is that? And that's what it's like here. These people are just, they're so attentive, and it's such a different experience. My therapy is progressing a little. I do a little better every day. Still not there yet. We're probably looking at maybe another week yet. But I'm feeling better. I can do every day. I'm able to do a little more than what I could the day before. So that's a good thing. And you know what? I'm safe. I'm comfortable. I'm with people who know what they're doing, which is definitely a plus. And yes, I will be suing that other nursing home. There's a whole bunch of documentation on them. My 2 favorite nurses back at Mercy at the other hospital, when I came back and they documented stuff like crazy, so did my social worker from my home health care. So hopefully I will be living very comfortably for the rest of my life. That's the goal anyway. But anyway, so I think that's all for now. I'm like I said, I'm sorry this has taken so long. It's just honestly I needed time to get my head back together, and because it's been a hell of a ride, you guys. And like I said, I'm feeling much better. I'm feeling like me again. You know, I just by the time they brought me back to Mercy Hospital, it's like I felt like I had like been stripped of all my dignity. And they gave it back to me. You know, the first night back there, my wonderful nurses there, they went rogue. They went and stole all this like shampoo and conditioner and stuff from like around the floor, and they came back to my room and they shut the door, and they gave me this like incredible like bath, and they washing conditioned my hair, and they like powdered me and it was so nice. They made me feel human again, and God, I needed that because oh man, I can't even tell you. But anyway, I'm gonna stop here, um, as it's like starting to hurt pretty bad. It's time for my pain meds, so I think I'm gonna go chill for a while, and there'll be more later. But I hope you all are doing well, and you know what? Feel free to leave me, you know, a message or whatever down below, and I should be back around more now. So if you watched this whole thing, thank you. I know it's incredibly long, and there's probably stuff I even left out at this point that I'll remember later. But in the meantime, things are looking up. So I will end with peace and love, and let your freak flag fly. Thanks, guys. See you later.